2023 has some tasty looking games coming out. So I found 15 of the best games coming out this year.
Number 15.
Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Another one to add to the Stalker series. And although a lot of the older Stalker games are obviously hugely outdated, it seems for once developers have taken the if it's not broke, don't fix it line reasonably seriously. The loot interface is pretty much unchanged and a lot of things are reminiscent of how they always were. But obviously they're using shiny new dev toys like Unreal Engine 5, which has probably also contributed to the fact that the world is now borderless. Yeah, that sounds pretty self-explanatory, but I feel like I'm being lied to, or I'm stupid. Anyways, everything you just heard may still change, and it may also come from someone who has never actually played a Stalker game. Anyways, it's coming out on PC and Xbox in December of this year, but don't bet your house on that because you know how often dev teams underestimate their targets. Number 14, Redfall, a Borderlands-style co-op FPS game with vampires. The devs said something that thousands of people have yet to figure out though. It's very dynamic, it's constantly changing. You never really feel like you played the same game twice. Either that man is high off sleep deprivation or he knows how to sell a game. But this one honestly looks like probably the most promising one in a while. The devs Arcane Studio also created Dishonored, albeit back in 2012, but Redfall is almost 100% coming out on the 2nd of May this year, and like your least favorite fuckfest shooter, you can play different heroes. But according to Reddit, my favorite website, they sound more like Borderlands style archetypes. I don't know what that word means. Redfall has a lot of info available in this Reddit thread, so I'll link it below in case you want to have a look at any unanswered questions. Number 3, Remnants. As the name might tell you, this is a sequel to Remnant 1. This Souls-like game is apparently coming this summer, but since the Steam page still says coming soon, it just maybe won't. The game uses procedural generation magic to make sure two people don't ever experience the same scenery. By the way, this game will release on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, but I've included all of those details for every single game in the description, so just go look down there and maybe subscribe. But the UI looks beautifully clean, and the sequel will likely bring a bunch of new weapons, dungeons, better leveling, and cool stuff. Number 12, Quinfall, the MMORPG that almost everyone seems to hate. And I love to shit on games, so I did some digging. The developers of Vorrake Technology are a Turkish indie group creating their first ever game. They were founded in 2021, and a lot of the assets seem recycled and off the Unity asset store, which is fine, but it just feels like a game that'll promise you a good time just to rip the money out of your pants while taking them off and then leave you without being able to refund. But maybe I'm wrong. I want to be wrong because it looks good. Honestly, I'll probably buy this game just to get fucked in the ass, to be honest, but that's okay. Number 11, Lies of P. Took me a while, but turns out P stands for Pinocchio. You know, the long-nosed menace to society. But this is a Souls-like game, clearly inspired by Bloodborne. Very, 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 very much so. Yeah, this is the Wish version of Bloodborne. I don't really play Souls games, and a lot of you guys actually scare me, but Reddit comments like, Souls fan here, 100% not impressed by this in any way, will not be gobbling it up. Make me feel like this won't go down well. The combat doesn't look great, and I can see that some fights last too long, but that could also be the developer just sucking ass at their own game. Very possible. Number 10, Pacific Drive. My favorite game on this list. Okay, maybe not. But it's gonna be a classic. I can just tell. It's got a beautiful art style and a really interesting atmosphere that comes across actually unique. You might not know this game, but if you do, imagine Long Drive on crack. I honestly can't wait to play this with all my friends. It's coming this year, sometime. I don't know when because all they said is 2023, and you know what? I believe them. Hold on, hear from the future and that. Apparently it's single player, so I don't need to worry about anything. That's good. 9, Silent Hill Ascension. This kind of counts as a number of games because out of all of the Silent Hill games possibly coming out this year, this might be the shittiest one. But it could also not be. You know? Apparently some fella online leaked that alongside Ascension, 3 other Silent Hill games are coming out this year. Now, I don't know how they're pulling them out of their asses like this, but Silent Hill fans are gonna be in for the year of their lives, if the games end up being worth the wait. Konami, the developers, have said that it's coming sometime in 2023. And again, I trust them. But honestly, the most terrifying thing about this game is that Behavior Interactive are involved in making it. Number 8, a classic. It's not called classic. It's the Outlast Trials. Outlast is a lot of people's favorite game, and a game that is so fucked up, the cost of therapy may as well be deducted from the game's price. The trailer is obviously amazing, and you can tell that the voice acting is great, and a lot of people have already played the beta, and most only have good things to say. The Outlast Trials come out on the 18th of May, so you guys have fun with that. I'll just stay over here. Number 7, The Finals. A game that recently got a lot of traction for being, well,
You know the problem with it?
pretty good, but with a lot of room for improvement. But it has one feature that actually makes it unique: environment destruction, which basically means you can blow up and destroy anything and everything you want. The game has a lot of cool shit, and that's really the only way to succeed as an FPS game nowadays. And of course, a good monetization strategy is good too, but considering Nexon are helping to publish this, I wouldn't get my hopes up. It's honestly more likely they add microtransactions for queuing into a fucking match than selling things that actually make sense. But either way, I think people like the beta, and it's apparently coming out fully to the public nearer the end of 2023. Number 6, Sea of Stars. This will probably end up being the most underrated game on this list, and maybe even the best, which is why it's here. Most people loved the demo, and thankfully it's actually coming to Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation, as well as obviously PC. But it's a retro-inspired turn-based RPG developed by Sabotage Studio, and it looks so damn hot. August 29th is the planned release date, and I really hope these guys succeed, and considering their tweets are already getting 7k likes, I think they'll be okay. 5, Lords of the Fallen. This one probably shouldn't be 5th, but I'll just say this list is in no particular order when it kind of is. A dark fantasy action RPG that has some of the creamiest screenshots I've seen in ages. It's also a sequel to Lords of the Fallen, and instead of adding a 2 at the end, they've just put a "the" at the beginning. Innovation. The prequel, Lords of the Fallen, was apparently not very good, but a different dev team is making this one, so it could and probably will feel entirely new. Number 4, Manor Lords. Yes, I made a video on this one before. No, this isn't sponsored. This game actually ruined my life for one night, and then they removed the demo because that shit had me addicted. And I still don't know whether it gave me a power trip when I was making peasants walk miles to church, or that it was just a good game. It's just a medieval city builder, but it feels so well executed. Though, you know, the demo wasn't that well optimized, but that'll change, hopefully. It's coming out this year, reportedly, and I believe it. 3, Counter-Strike 2. One of the craziest piece of gaming news to hit in years, at least for me. This one is entirely biased, and I will absolutely be pumping Gaben's wallet with this game, okay? I just need you to know that. The game is only changing some core mechanics and keeping a lot of the main things that make the skill gap so high the same, and also updating the game engine to Source 2. Smokes are now volumetric, which means they get fat and long instead of just staying round. You can also shoot through the smokes and blow them up, which is crazy. Obviously, the pros are probably shitting themselves, but as much as Valve is scarily silent, I actually trust them. CS2 beta actually recently released, and obviously there were bugs.
I think you can toggle the legs on and off. Try F10 and then they should fade away.
I'm shamefully addicted to the CSGO hobby, so hopefully Valve remember to meet their summer deadline for CS2 release, or I might go insane. Number 2.
You fucking moron.
Jedi Survivor. One of the most exciting games of this year for sure. People are foaming at the mouth for this shit. Literally, visually, it's corn, but I'm keeping my opinion reserved to see how good it really is when I actually play that shit. It's probably going to be public by the time this video is out, so tell me what you thought in the comments if you tried it. Number 1, Starfield. Bethesda. Yeah, that beautiful face. It's one of those games that is obviously being overly hyped, but also underestimated by people who have just been Bethesda'd before, you know? It does look pretty generic, but it's been in development for so long that if it's not a masterpiece, I'll be sad. The Reddit circle jerk of massively over-expecting what Starfield is actually going to deliver is already fully underway though, and that usually means the game will at least perform well at the start. Okay, this game probably didn't deserve number 1, but maybe I'll be proven right, and Todd Howard will once again mesmerize with a seamless release.
What the fuck, Graham? Ta gra jest zajebiście.